I feel kind of bad for Bengt right now because we pulled him from the airport to the offices before he gets to go home to Stockholm to talk to us about GDC.
Yes, I haven't slept in 36 hours maybe, something like that, so I'm fully fit for this duty.
Exactly. A couple of more hours to go. But anyway, you were there.
I was there.
It was...
You may touch me on the shoulder.
No.
No.
But coming back home, what was a big thing that you remember from this year's GDC?
From a news standpoint, of course, the announcement of PlayStation Move was the big thing. It's got people divided. I understand. I think from the jaded games journalist point of view, we were like, yeah, it works well, but it's, you know, not really an all-new experience, because I think the newest experience of the PlayStation Move things that we got to try was actually iPad, and I'm not sure that that's what the hardcore gamers are out for, but that actually did something that you can't do on the Nintendo Wii or something like that, because it's integrating both voice and image with the camera and the motion detection, and yeah, you know.
Compared to the forum warriors here at home that's been fighting it out over if PlayStation Move is worth it or not, including myself. What do you think? Well, you've actually played it. How do you think it's the right thing for Sony to do?
It certainly works well. It provides them with something to say, like, okay, don't buy a Wii, you can buy a PlayStation 3 instead. You get all the functionality, plus a little bit more. However, it's like most of the things that were on display at the event was just, you know, things that we did play in terms of gaming experience, was things that we played on the Wii, you know, 3 years ago. And I don't think that they're going to win the world with, you know, a collection of sport games, with something that where you point and shoot, like a shooting gallery. You know, it needs to be something else. And to be honest, I think everyone who played SOCOM 4 just longed for a controller in their hands, really. It felt very awkward, and people, you know, looked awkward. I think maybe with a little time and experience, you can play it just as well as you would with a controller, but you know, it's like if it ain't broke, you know. But what I'm really looking forward to is to see some of the more creative and talented teams at Sony come up with it. You know, it's kind of funny that one of the things that I was most excited about seeing was the Little Big Planet functionality that they added, and of course that's not even a new game. So, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see what that game company, what Media Molecule, what you know, things like teams like Team Ico could do with this Quantic Dream. But so far we've mainly seen the sort of the casual, you know, things that we can expect, things that they probably have to put out when they launch the motion controller. So we'll see.
There was more than just Sony at GDC, even though we could probably talk about that for quite
I can
some
talk
time.
for as long as you want.
Yeah, but you can talk
to.
about anything
Yeah.
for as long as you want to. But you got to sit down with Civ 5, or you got to talk to them about Civ 5.
I got to see some Civ 5, and seeing a presentation of a Civilization game is, you know, it's a bit like watching porno. You know, you want to join in. That's what you want to do.
Can we quote you on that?
It's no fun. It's no fun watching a presentation, because you want to try it for yourself and see how it works, and try different, you know, the possibilities that open up with the hexes, and with the fact that there are no longer any stacks. You can only have one unit per tile, and the way it changes the game just has your mind spinning, and you just want to sit down with it yourself and try it, because that's really what it's all about. It's not a game that you can write, you know, 20,000 characters and have people, you know, in ecstasy. I can talk about it in a way that will make you feel like I gotta go get it now. You know, you gotta play it, you gotta try it yourself, and that's what it's all about. But I'm intrigued by the changes they made, and it might be the biggest change in the series history. So. The biggest changes. There are several changes in the way cities works and diplomacy as well. So there's a lot there to be explored, and I'm very excited about playing it. So definitely one of the highlights for me. That and Mafia 2 was a highlight as well when I got to play Mafia 2. That was a very polished experience and something that I think fans will be very excited about playing for sure.
I thought we should point out that you shouldn't miss the interview Bengt did with one of the guys from the Civ 5 team, which is already up.
It's already online, yeah.
On GRTV.
And there's Mafia 2 interview coming up as well, so if you're interested in seeing that. So.
But you've had the opportunity to at least sit down with one of those games that I'm looking forward to, and a lot of people out there is looking forward to, and you got to see another one which I'm very, very excited about, and that was Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yes.
You got to play that, and then you got to see the Secret World.
Yeah. Well, we can't talk about the Secret World yet because there's an embargo on that, but you know, I think it's the 23rd of March, so jot that down in your calendars and be back. But the Star Wars, the Old Republic. First of all, I should say I'm not an MMO addict like you are. I don't play him that much, but I'm a Star Wars addict, and Knights of the Old Republic is one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm really looking forward to delving down in that universe again. And I think from a universe standpoint, it's hard to see them disappointing. But you know, we played it. It played like a single-player game. You know, you didn't play it together with anyone else, and it was a mission. And it's kind of hard to sort of gauge what it's like. It's an early stage. I mean, they're more than a year away from release, and you could see that. And I was a little bit underwhelmed by the graphics because they didn't really stand out. And there's a lot of great-looking MMOs coming. So, like
Terra, which you also got to see.
Terra actually looked, you know, pretty sweet. It's more of an action MMO. It's actually during the whole presentation it was played with a controller, which is kind of surprising, you know, for an MMO. And yeah, that looks like a sort of a wild card in the MMO genre. It's coming out next year, and yeah, maybe it's time for another Korean MMO to make it in the West. I don't know. We'll see.
Anything else? Now I've got my MMO fix from GDC. What else did you actually enjoy?
That's all you think about.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, GDC is a perfect showcase for a lot of indie developers, indie titles, and we got a lot of good interviews with small developers and got to see a lot of interesting concepts, interesting games, and exciting stuff. And I think the Independent Games Festival just gets better and better with each year. And you know that each year the winner of that is going to make a lot of money. It's going to be rich and get a big publishing deal. And I think there's a lot of hopefuls this year, a lot of interesting looking titles. And some
For
of them,
example?
Well, I mean, Shank was in there. They didn't win anything, but they
already
have the publishing deal, so they're home free. There's a game called Limbo. There's a game called Owlboy from Norway, actually, and there's a game called Super Meat Boy. That is,
yeah.
We got a pretty hilarious interview coming up on that one. And there's a game called Monaco that looks pretty neat as well. So there's quite a few good indie titles this year, and all of them had something unique and different about them. So I think that's a good sign for the industry that there's a lot of great ideas and that they actually get to come to the forefront in some sort of way.
Absolutely. But then just to wrap this before our producer starts throwing stuff at us, how about just wrap it up with just a couple of titles that we'll see interviews from, or we'll see presentations from at GRTV during the.
Well, like I said, we got Star Wars: The Old Republic. We've got Terra. We've got all the games that we've mentioned. We do have something coming up on, and there's more stuff on the PlayStation Move coming up. There's going to be a lot of gameplay coming from that, and there's a few other good interviews, and of course we got the Secret World coming up as well on the 23rd. So BioWare stuff, Mass Effect 2, an interview with the director, and some Dragon Age stuff coming as well, and got an interview with Peter Molyneux coming up, and there's a lot of good stuff coming. I would also like to give a sort of I think there's a good. There's an interview coming up on Power Gig. You know, the 6-string Guitar Hero rock band clone, or I don't know what to say, but yeah, it's going to be. I mean, they were pretty open about this. It's a rock band clone basically, but they've got the new controller, and they're going to try and innovate as well on the drums and the microphone as well. So we'll see what the full band looks like at E3, but that's something that's coming up. And there's tons of stuff.
So yeah, we have a couple of pages here with lists of shows. So we'll be busy. We'll be sharing with you guys over the next couple of weeks.
And I'll be going to sleep.
Yeah, we're done with you now. You can go.